Okay. So, guys, in Java, everything happens through class. Okay. As discussed in the last session, we have installed the STS IDE and we have checked how that IDE, what are the kind of, we call it as panes, different parts. It's called panes or a small windows. We have seen that one. We created a project, we run the project, we gave an input to the our program. Today, what we'll try to see is, we'll try to see the types in Java. Okay, types in Java and types of classes in Java. Okay, first let us see what is the types in Java. I'll go here, I'll go back to my IDE. Here, first of all, I'll create a new package. Right click, source, new. Okay, I'll first create a package here. If you observe here, there are few options was given for here. Project, Java project, file, folder, annotations, class, enumeration, interface, package, record. What I'll do is first I'll create a package. From now onwards, I'm going to give a package on my name. So all of you should do the same thing. What I'm going to give is, let's say I have a website called shyam.com. Okay. So my package name is reverse of my domain name. So com.shyam is my package name, .explore.java. Okay. It is my project is exploring. What I'm exploring? The Java project. So that's what is my package. I say finish. Now in this package, guys, don't worry about of this Java. Let me rename it. Don't think this is a .java and package name is same. But let me rename it. Refactor, rename, explore Java tech. Explore Java tech, Java technology. Right? Now here, whenever I can create this one, let me create here the types in Java. You can see here on the third border, annotation, class, enumeration, interface, package, and record. Okay. So first I'll create a class. I'll give it as a class exploration. All I'm giving is a name. Guys, here we'll just understand the syntax. We're not going to do too many things, but we'll understand the syntax, how it looks, the structure of a code. Let's say finish. This is, we are aware, by default, your classes will be given it as a public. This is called access modifier. We will see access modifiers deeper in the coming sessions. Then you can see package, package name, public class, and the class name. Any code which you write will be inside your square flower braces. This is what is a class. Now, second one is I'm right clicking new interface. Okay. Class exploration. Let's say interface exploration. I say finish. If you observe here, it is public. Instead of class keyword, it is given as a interface keyword. Okay. This is what I was trying to tell you, the color coding. With these names, ideally, you can recognize what are the keywords. See, this package is a keyword, public is a keyword, interface is a keyword. And on the left side panel, you can see for class, it is showing it as a normal, but for interface, above the Java icon, there is a small I is given there. Are you able to observe this one, I? Any of you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So with this way, you'll come to know this is also .java file only, but here is an interface is given. Let me create a new one. Right click, new, enum. It's called enumeration. Okay. Enum explore. Exploration. Say finish. If you observe here, the key is enum. It is enumeration is called enum. and you can see there is a E is given on the top. Okay, this is how you can identify. The IDE will give you a lot of capabilities. If we understand it well, even without opening a file itself, we'll come to know what type of code is there inside. Okay, then we'll go with a new one called annotation. Okay, annotation exploration. Say finish. If you observe here, I'm not clicking any of these things. There's a public package, add retention, nothing I'm doing. I'm simply giving a name and say finish. If you see here, annotations are defined at the rate interface. If you check the interface, you have only interface here, but annotations are given with the at the rate interface. Okay, at the rate symbol is attached. Okay, so we will see, I'm just creating all of these types. Then later in everyone will be deep driven. Next, I want to give one more new. It's called record. Okay, record exploration. Say finish. Now, if you see here, the keyword it will be using is a record, but there is a special syntax. It's not like your regular class. With your class, you simply have a flower braces, but with your record, you have a small, like a method declaration is given. Okay. As I told you, we are not deep diving into it, but you can understand it. The types, these are called types in Java: class, interface, enumeration, annotation, and record. Okay, guys. And I'm going to rename this package as rename this package as dot types. Okay. These are the types. What are the types in Java? I'll write it here. It's a class, interface, enumeration, annotation, and record. Okay. Our current focus is only on the class. Okay. Types of classes in Java. You can create 3 types of classes. Okay. Now, what are the 3 types is? One is execution class, bean class, functionality class. Guys are able to understand? Execution class, bean class, and functionality class. Let us go ahead and see what is an execution class, why it is called an execution class, what is a bean class, what are the features, comparison between the execution class and bean class, and what is a functionality class, what are the uses of this. So let me go to my IDE. I'll create a new package. In this one, right click, new. I'll write it a directly class. It will ask me whether I can use in the same package or I can change a package. I change this to class. If I give a class, it will give me an error saying that package name is not valid because dot class should not be part of, uh, package name. So that's the reason I'll give it as classes. Okay. Now here, let's say execution class. And this time, instead of me writing on my own, I will use a public static void main. If you observe here, it has created a new package and it has created my class inside it along with my method. Right, guys? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So moving on. This is called an execution class. The reason is it has a main method. Okay. We'll go here and give a syso, sysout, system.out.println. I'm giving control space. Guys, you should be knowing about of shortcuts. Control space is the shortcuts. Control plus space used to complete the code, or it will show the code options. Okay. If you observe here, I'm deleting this. I'm giving SYSO. I'm giving control space. You can see here, it is given me a statement. Let's say I'm part of execution class. Okay. I save this one. The moment I save it, it compiles and get a class file generated. Where are the class files generated, guys? Can anyone try to help me out? See, I'll keep adding the interview questions wherever there is a need. Interview.
J
Yeah, yes.
inside the JRE file. Java runtime.
No. JRE is for you executing your files. Okay. Java runtime environment. But here you have something called a bin. Okay. I'll show you. Explore Java, right click, go to properties. There is a shortcut also, Alt Enter. Properties. Here is your location will show. See, by default, resources is selected. There is a location. This is your project. Click on this. It will go to where your project is located. Inside your project, you have a SRC folder, you have a bin folder. All your class files will be inside this one. See, here it is a new package mine, right? Mine is a new package, com.sham.explore Java tech. Now here, this is the classes, my execution class. This is where it will be available. So to come back, inside your project, parallel to your source folder, a bin folder will be generated. That's where is your class files. Okay. Right. Coming back. Now, this is an execution class. Why? Because you can execute this. How do you execute it? Right click on inside a file, run as Java application, where you can see a shortcut also, Alt Shift XJ. Right? If you see, I'm part of a execution class. Right? Clear? Okay.
Yes.
Now, if I just want to remove this string array, I'm just removing only this string array. Okay, I'm simply giving it as a string arguments. If you observe here, there is no error. Let me clear the console. I'll clear the console. Now, if I try to execute this, right click, run as. You don't find an option as run as Java application. The reason is, if you want to execute a Java program, main method is must. Okay, this is the not the syntax. You have to have a string arguments. Okay, then you can say this is a Java execution class. You see here, there is a Java application. Again, Java application container. In container, we don't go with that. First, we'll go with Java application. Or if you take out the public, save it. Try to check it out. It doesn't show you anything. So an execution class in Java is a class which got a main method with a required syntax expected by your JVM. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now let's come to the second class, which is a bean class. Right? What is a bean? Let me create a new class. I'm giving a name here for this one. Let's say a student and say finish. Right? Guys, whenever we are writing a code, we write for a purpose. Now here, I want to have a student. Let's say, take all of us are students, right? In this case, we will be having certain properties, right? Let's say string name. We have a name and string course. We have chosen a course and string fee. or I can give it as an integer fee here, int fee. Correct? And I can go ahead and say strip few more fields which we can add. Let's say, string duration, string tutor, or let's say trainer. Right, guys? These are the fields required, right? I mean, as a student, I'm sorry, a student trainer will not come, right? Let's say, your name, the course which you join, whatever is the fees which you're paying. Even this will be part of a course, guys. One moment. Your student name, I can say gender. Let's say string qualification, right? Or your graduation, I can say qualification. Let's say this fee and all will come as part of a course, guys. Okay. Let me take out this fee. Trainer also you don't require here. All I want is 3 fields. Your name, your gender, and qualification, right? Here, it's a class student. Now, can we execute this one? No. If I say right click, run as, nothing you can run because it is having few fields. Okay, what I can do is, for me to add a data and retrieve a data for these fields, I can have something called getters and setters. Okay, getters and setters. So getter setters are methods which can be used to create an object, and for that object you can set a values. Okay, this you can write it on your own or you can take a help of IDE. So I go to the next line, right click on this location. Guys, sometimes you people right click on different locations, either in the package place or after your flower braces. If you do it, right click here, source, generate getter setters, it will not show anything for you. You see here, the operation is not applicable. All you have to do is you have to be inside a class, inside the flower braces. I'm keeping my cursor inside a flower braces, right click, source, generate getters and setters. Then it will show me an options, what all are the getters and setters which can be generated. Let's say I want to float this one, hide float meeting controls. Yeah. If you see here, the gender, get gender, set gender, get name, set name. If I select this one, both are selected and I say generate. Now, if you observe here, for my name, there is 2 methods are generated, get name, set name. Okay. Guys, these are called getter setters. Ideally, Java is an object-oriented programming language. Everything you talk about of is an object. Okay. If we take an example about of our course, okay, course is an object. A course consists of title, that is which technology, a tutor who is teaching, and duration, let's say 3-4 months, and the price attached to it, and its timings. All those things goes as an object. Now, students, this course, students will enroll to this course. So that's where what happens is one course can have many students, right? Now the student is an object. The student name, student gender, student qualification, and any remarks. Okay. So these are called classes. You can create an object out of the classes, and you can have it setters and getters. Now I have set 3 fields and getters and setters for all of them. Okay. This is called bean class. This is called bean class. If you right click and say run as, you will not have any execution because it is not a main method. This is a second type of class you can create in Java to create an object out of it. This is called bean class, Java bean class. A bean consists of few fields You can set the values and you can get a values. The reason is simple. Let's say I'm a student. My name is Shyam. My gender is male. And I opted for Java full stack course, which is 3 to 4 months and started from January. And the timings are 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Now it comes to Nishchal. Nishchal, gender
Yes.
male, and he has taken this course. Now what is happening is all of us are individual objects and each object has its own variations. The name is different, the description is different, the qualification is different. Out of us, few are working professionals and few are students also, right? So these all differs, right? We all are humans. Human is a name, right? Shyam is a human. Dikshita is a human. Nishchal is a human. Pushpa is a human. Each one of you is called an object. Today in the world, anything you talk is a object. So now in Java, you can call it as a bean. The bean is consisting of the fields and setting a values for them and later using for different purposes. So this is a second type of class. Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Coming back, we have seen the execution class which have a method, that is the execution method, main method, and it differs if this is a being a Java standard application, that is Java standard edition, you have a main method, guys. But when you go for a JE, Java Enterprise Edition, you will not have a main methods, guys. It has a different mechanism altogether. Okay, but for us currently what we are learning is a core Java, which is also called as a Java Standard Edition, which has all of these things. Now let me create another class, let's say functionality class. Let's say I'm going to create a class, let's say calculations. Calculations is my class. Generally, what are the calculations we do in day to day?
Calculating.
Addition, subtraction,
Yeah, go ahead.
multiplication, division, finding percentage, average.
Yes, guys. Addition,
So
correct?
calculation,
Multiplication, subtraction, division. Correct, guys? Let's say you have certain amount, right, in your, let's say in your wallet. How do you say what is the amount? Let's say you have 100 note and 50 note. It's a you're adding, right? Or you're summing it, right? So the input will be ideally, let's say I'm taking numbers, integer, first value, and integer, second value. Then this addition will return a value for it. Guys, I'll go deeper later point of time. First, I'll give you a overall information. Then we'll get into the methods, variables, and data types and all. If you understand this one, this is a addition method which will take first value as an input, second value as an input, and returns the addition of both of them. Imagine you have a first value as 100 rupees, second value is, let's say, 20 note. 120 you pass it, then you get the output as 120. Simple, easy, understandable.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now multiplication. What is a multiplication? Let's say you are passing integer first value, comma, integer second value. Right? You go to a bank to withdraw certain amount or ATM. Okay. Let's say you put 5,000 rupees. Now it gave a 500s into 10. So this is where what you do here is return first value multiplied by second value. Here the multiplication will be used, star will be used for multiplication. Right? You pass a 500 into How many nodes? 10. The value will be 5,000 you will receive. Then I'll fulfill the subtraction. Let's say int first value. I can give it as a first also. Int second. You go to a shop or you go to a restaurant, you buy something, you give 500, they'll give a change, right? Let's say you bought a Coke, a 50 rupees. You give a 100 note, they'll return you 50, right? So that's where you will use return first minus second. Local dependent. Sure, please. Okay, just a minute. So here, integer. Now what you do, you pass 100 as a first value, second value as 50, then it is a subtraction. Now is a division, right? Let's say you go for a int first, comma, int second. It is returning int return first divided by second. Let's say, guys, you go for a restaurant, friends, all of your friends. It's a Dutch party. Let's say you have to spend on your own amount. Let's say there is a 1,200 has happened and you are 6 people. What do you do? 1,200 by 6. Then you'll get an amount, right? So let's say these are calculations. Simple, understandable?
Yes.
Yeah. Now this is called a class, which is functionality class. It doesn't have a main method and it doesn't have any of the properties if you observe. Understood what I'm saying?
Yes. Got it.
Yeah. So this is called a functionality class. It just got a functionality which you can use it in other place. Right? Now, in Java, you can only create these 3 type of classes, and these can be, you can use in a combination. Let's say in a main method, you want to use a functionality class. Right? How do you do that? For that one, we can create an object and we can use it. Give me a moment. I'll just connect with my charger and we'll continue. Yeah. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So as I mentioned, we can create 3 types of classes: execution class, bean class, and functionality class. The execution class will contains a main method. That's where your execution starts. Even though you can have thousands of classes, there should be a starting point. That is your execution class. Then you have a bean class, which is having only the fields and its getters and setters. Then you have only the calculations, which is like this. Okay. I'm giving these examples just for simplicity, but it will go little, complex in your projects. Now let me close all these things. So Java is an object-oriented programming. Java is an object-oriented programming. What is an object-oriented programming? Let's say I open this execution class. In this one, I'm part of execution class. Okay, I got main method. Let me execute this one. I say right click, run as Java application, right? We're able to see the output, right? But is there any object you observe here? Is there any object are we creating? No, right?
No.
Then how is the execution is happening? How is the execution happening? Who has created a object? What is happening here? All we know is you create a class and you have a main method and you write something over here. The execution starts from here. What happens is in core Java, whenever you are creating, executing a class, by default, an object will be created like this. Here, I'm just writing for like this, and it will directly call the main method like this. it will directly call the class like this. What happens is your JVM will create an object of execution class and it directly calls the main method. When you have a main method, you need not to create an object for it to execute. Your JVM will create for it. Okay? In execution class, you need not to create an object, but your JVM will create one for you. Okay? Guys, few statements will be very new for you, but over the time, you will get a much better clarity. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, coming back. I'm deleting this one. Now we have a execution class. Now let us try to see the calculations and students we have done now, how we can use it one. For that, I'll create a new class and show you how we can use it. Let's say right click, new class exploration. I'll use a main method. Now here, the first thing is, let me go with a bean class. Let me have one statement, syso system.out.println. Execution starts from here. Okay, execution starts from here. And I'm going here, use one more statement in below, execution completes here. Just two statements I have given here. Let's say right click, run as Java application. Now you can see both the statements are printing. Okay. Right, guys?
Yes.
Now I want to create a student class because I want to go for my bean class. I want to understand how this works. I'll go to the student, STUDEN. I can simply give 3 characters and give a control space. Automatically it will show you the options. That's where I was trying to say control space it should be always with you in your fingertips, as well as control S. Control S is to save, control space is for you to show the available options. So student Shyam equal to, guys, wherever I give my name in your programs, always give your name. New student. Okay. This is how we create an object in Java. What is it? This is how you create an object in Java. What is an object is when you have a class, and for that class, when you are using new, you are giving some memory to it. It will store in your memory. That means when it is getting executed, an object will be created and a space will be allocated for that object. Right? Guys, if you are thinking anything, we are thinking in our brain, right? Obviously, there is somewhere it is getting stored, right? We can recollect a lot of information related to that, right? In Java, you have memory. Java memory mechanisms, okay? So usually it's called heap memory. Okay? It is called heap memory. What is a heap memory is? Heap memory is a place where your objects is getting created. What we can do is, let's try to execute it. Right click, run as Java application. Now it is executed, but nothing happened. There is a object got created, but we don't know where it is, what is happening and all. Let us try to do one small thing. I'll give it as a syso system.out.println control space. In this one, I want to print SYAM. I copy this one, double click on this one, Control C for copy. I paste it in the system.out.println. Right? In my system.out.println, guys, we will use system.out.println as part of only the development when you are developing an application. When it is in the different environments like production and all, we will use a mechanism called logging. Okay. System.out.println is used only while development of the project. Okay. Logging mechanism is used for production environment. Okay. Did we discuss about of environments, guys? Did we? No, right?
Sir.
Did we discuss about of development, quality, environment, staging, production? No, right? Okay. In further classes, we'll see the environments also. But for now, just have an idea. Development is we are developing a project. Once the development is matured and it is working as expected, we put across in a production. Production is a place where you keep your code in a server. It works in the server and customers can use it. That time you will use a logging mechanism. You will not keep a system.out.println because there will be somebody monitoring your logging for any issues and all. Okay. So now I put system.out.println Shyam. Let us see what it prints. Right click, run as Java application. What is it printing, guys?
It's printing the memory address.
It's printing
address of the object.
absolutely. It's printing something here. If you observe here, this is our package name. See, till this one is our fully qualified name. What is a fully qualified class name is your package name with your class name. If you observe here in the package, com.sham.explore.java tech.classes. You have, this is your package, right? Then this is your class, right? Now, this is the memory address of this object. What is this object? What is this memory? What is all these things? What is a memory? What is this object? See, guys, what happens is, like humans, if you want to process some information, you keep in some information, you store it, right? Let's say, I'll tell you, add two numbers, 10, 30. Now, first you store in your mind 10, and after that you store 30, then you calculate it, 10 plus 30, 40. That's all right. When someone is asking you to pay you money, you take out of money from your purse or in your wallet, and you keep counting and giving it, right? For your program to execution, you require some memory. What is a program or a code? Program is set of instructions. What is a program? Program is set of instructions which will be understood by the system, correct? So what system here we are using is it? JDK. JREs will understand your instructions, right? JVM will understand, yes, this is a class. Yes, it understands. It's a method. This is where it should start. It knows about of it because they are the ones it created and given to us. They will tell us this is the documentation. This is how you write a code, and this is what is the expected output. Okay. Now I have created an object. When we create an object, it requires memory to store this object. The reason is simple. In the student, you have three values are stored: name, gender, and qualification, right? Now, if you go to the class exploration, now we are printing, when you print your object reference, guys, this is called object reference. Okay, object reference. So the left side is called reference, right side is called creation. So you are creating a new student object. When you use new keyword, it will allocate memory for this object. And how much memory it will allocate? It will look after the fields available, and each fields will have its own data size and it will allocate. Right? We will get into the sizes for data types in little later point of time. But for clarity, an object is one which is created in a heap memory, and it takes certain memory according to the fields which you have used, and each field will have its own size. Okay, so now you're printing this one. Now what I want to do here is, I want to set up some values. So I'll go here, I copy the sham dot. The moment you give dot, you can see what is the values available over there, or fields available and methods available. If you observe here, there is a gender, name, and qualification. Correct? Is it correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm opening student. You see here gender, name, and qualification. Now, when you say control space, it is showing you the first one. Gender is a field name. Its data type is string. It is from a class called student. Now, dot. Again, you have here in the below getters and setters. Set gender, set name, set qualification. Let's say I'll go here. Sham dot set name. I'll give it as Sham Kakumani. Guys, I suggested you, wherever my name, my qualifications, whatever I'm giving, you have to replace it with your information. Now, Sham dot set name is done, right? Set gender. I'm giving here as male. Right? Now, Sham dot set qualification. Here, you can give a qualification like BTech, MTech and all, or graduation, post-graduation. Let's say I'm giving post-graduation. Right? Now, after this, I want to go and print this object, SYSO, sys out. I want to print this object again. Right? Let me execute this. Right click, run as Java application. Now you can see still it is printing the same. It is still printing the address. What happens is, by default, whenever you have a class and you are printing a object value, or it is an instance, or the object. Object is also called instance. Object and instance are same. Both can be used for the same purpose. Okay, guys? Some people will call it as an object, some people will call it as an instance. Right? Now, coming back here, what happens is, whenever you are printing this object, it will print the memory. In case if you want to override it, you don't want to print the memory, because we are humans, we don't understand any of these things. We want to understand what it contains. That's where what we can do is, you can go to the students.java. In this place, you can override a method called toString. I right click here, source, generate toString. Guys, don't worry about so many options which is looking. We'll learn one by one, slowly, easily, purpose-based. You need not know, okay, what is delegate methods. See, getter setters we have already seen. Hash code equals we will see. We will see the constructors also. We will go with a toString now. When you say generate toString, it will ask you what all the fields you want to show. Let's say you want to show the name, gender, qualification. I say generate. I'm not changing anything. Default one, say generate. Now, if you observe here, it has added one method called toString. Now, if I go to my application, when I run this one, right click, run as Java application. Now you can see it has printed the content which was given by us. You guys are able to see this?
Yes.
Okay. I will give 5 minutes of time for you. Okay. Please go ahead and create a student with 3 fields. Okay. Name, gender, qualification. Then after that, right click here. You will have a source, generate getter setters. Click on that one. It will show you what all, because it's already given, right? That's why it's not showing. Otherwise, it will show a window. It will generate a getter setters. And also you can generate a toString also, because you understood a concept, right? Once this is done, then try to write this piece of code. Guys, once you start writing only, you can relate the things. Otherwise, people will think Java looks easy, but doing tough. It's correct. Java is easy until unless you write it. Once you start writing it, once you become habitual, right? This is the easiest one I can say for you compared to other programming languages, right? Very easy. Can you please do it?
Yes.
Yeah, please go ahead, guys. So I'll minimize this one. I'll keep both of this next to next for you, for your reference in case you still want to see the code. So here I'm writing, right click in this file, source, generate, getters, setters, and toString. Okay. So let me minimize this also. So this is a bean class on the right side. Guys, remember, if you don't save a file, it will not compile, it will show you a wrong results. Always, you see here in the student, there is a star symbol is there. Control S you have to be always. Control S, control space should be always with your within your fingers. So three fields, generate getter setters, generate toString. In the left hand side, create a class called class exploration. Write it, this input, if you want, whatever is you want to write it, you can write it, no problem. But use shortcuts, guys. You need not to copy character by character. No, start using shortcuts. SYSO will give you the system.out.println. Wherever my name is there, as I mentioned, give your name. And I'm printing for the first time. I'm printing for the second time. First time it is giving null to all my fields. Second time it is assigned values for it. Any of you completed, guys?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. These are simple things. That's what I was trying to say. Shortcuts we can use. We can understand the concepts. Either we can write a code with our own hands or we'll take a IDE help also. Not an issue. But IDE will, make things faster with your control space, completing the code. If any of you got struck, please feel free to ask me. Guys, this is a learning time. Never hesitate that, if you got struck. Okay. all of us are learning here. Don't worry about whether I can ask this and all. No, if you have a issues only, you'll ask, right? So please feel free to ask the questions in case if you got stuck. Guys, for a couple of days or few more days, I'll keep on going slow until you come to the pace using the IDE, using the shortcuts and understanding the concepts. From there, I expect you a little fast from you guys.
Okay.
Shall we move on? Dikshita, Pushpa, is it done? Dikshita, Pushpa, you're done. Should we move on?
Yes, sir.
Right, guys. So I'm just minimizing the both class. See if you see here, I'm just amalgamating together here. I'm bringing this window also. I'm bringing the other windows also. Now, if you observe here, when I'm first time printing, it is printed null all the fields. You see here, student is printing, but name is null, gender is null, qualification is null. That is how the values are by default when you create any of the object. Now, after you set these values, when I print it, now you can see you will receive a updated values. Now, if I go here and create one more object, let's say student Giri equal to new student, right? I'll give only one value for Giri. Let's say Giri dot set name. I want to set the name. Girish Kumar. If I go and print system.out.println Giri, if I execute this, I'm using a shortcut Alt+Shift+X. Then on the right side, you can see what I want to execute. I say J for Java. See here, run Java application, Alt+Shift+X J. When I click on this, now I can see here for Giri, there is a name is updated Girish Kumar, but the other fields has default values null. Okay. If you observe this, this is what it is. Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'll try to do here is now I will try to delete few of the lines of code for you to add more code and understand. Let's say Girish, I'm deleting here, and let me keep the sham as it is here. Now I want to use calculations here. Let's say I want to go here. I have a calculations class. Okay. I want to use one of the calculation. Let's say, let's take a simple one, which is addition. I want to use the addition. For that, what I have to do is, where is my addition method is there? Which class it is there?
In calculations, please.
Correct. So what we will do is first, in our execution class, we will create an object for calculations. Let's say CALC, I'm giving control space. Okay, there is a typo in my calculations class. If you see here, it's not calculations, it says CACU. Okay, let me correct it now. Function F2. Calculations, yeah. One L was missed. Let's say finish. Now I'll go here, CALC, control space. You see here, imagine I have only one calculations class, it will show like this. If I have multiple calculations in a different packages, it will show all of them. So I just double click it, calculations, calc equal to new calculations. Right? First, I created an object. Now I will call the methods, let's say with the reference of an object, right? calc dot. Now you can see here there is addition, division, multiplication, and subtraction. Are you able to see these methods? There are 4 methods: addition, division, multiplication, and subtraction. But you can see few more methods called equals, get class, hash code, notify. Is this our methods? Did we write any of them?
No.
No, right? If you observe here, see the first one, addition, which takes the integer first value, integer second value, and it returns after a colon integer type and from a class called calculations. Okay, same you can observe for division, multiplication, and subtraction. But whereas if you see the equals, boolean equals, it takes object and it returns boolean from the which class it is? Object class. Do you see this one?
Yes.
So see guys, this is how we can understand the syntax of a class. What is a syntax? Every programming language has its own syntax. Okay, so this IDE is showcasing us. These are the methods available for you to access. We did not write this wait, toString, notify and all. We have only 4 methods. Let's try to go for a addition. Let's say addition. In addition, it is taking a first value and second value. Let's say I would like to add 123 and 94. Right? Now what happens is it is taking 2 inputs. Let us open a calculator. Calc 123 plus 94 equal to 217. This is what is the output we expect. Now what happens is this addition will return us something which is an integer type. What will you do? What we do is int sum equal to, we are assigning the value whatever you're picking from here to this one, and we will print the value. Sum value. It is plus sum. Let me execute this, right click, run as Java application. Now you can see sum values 217, which is matching to our calculator. Let's say you don't have a calculator, but you want to write a program for calculations. This is how you write it, right? So 123 plus 94 is 217. Right? 123 plus 94 is 217. Now guys, you want to pass the dynamic values, not a static value. Otherwise, what happens is you run this one number of times, it is going to be show the same value. Now you have to pass values, different values. How can you do that?
Take input from user.
How do you take the input from user? From where? This we covered in the last session, right?
We're using
Again.
scanner class.
Yeah.
Scanner class.
Scanner is a next mechanism. We are not yet reached to a scanner. Let's say scanning is
Command line arguments.
Yeah, command line arguments we can use. See, let's say we go for a arguments of 0. See, what we can do is, let's say copy here arguments of 0, comma, arguments of 1. Right? But it is giving an error for us, na? Because anything which you're taking from the command line is coming as a string for you. But here for addition, it is expecting an integer for you, correct?
Yes.
So for time being, what we can do is, we can do something called a casting. What is called? Something called a casting. Okay. Let me try to do this one. Let me see whether it works. It's not taking. Arguments are cannot cast from string to int. Okay. The reason is there is something called a primitive data types. Something called a primitive data types. For timing, let's not go with guys. I'll come back in later session with something called a wrapper classes. That time we can use it. But for time being, you can understand, for you to pass a value, right click, run as, run configurations. you can pass as part of an arguments. Okay, we are not passing anything here because we want an integer, but it expects as a string. That's the reason we are not passing anything, but we know how to pass the values. Okay, so now coming back, if you understand here, I have created a class called calculations. It got only the methods called addition, multiplication, subtraction, division. This is where your outline window come into picture. Let's say, imagine you have 800 lines of code in this file. If you keep a cursor like this on the right side and restore, it will give you an outline of your class. See, this is your package name, this is your class name, and this is your method and all the methods. Now, do you understand what is the use of this right side outline window or a pane?
Yes.
Yeah. So, guys, we are writing, we know it, but when you go to a project and you want to explore it, right, it requires a right knowledge for you to understand the whole project. There will be a bunch of files. If you know your IDE, you can do it well. Now, as I mentioned, I have 4 methods. It is called only the functionality class. If I want to use any of these functionalities, all I have to do is I have to create an object. If you observe here, you are creating an object, new calculations here, and integer sum of, you are calling calculations, let's say calculation addition, and this addition is returning some value for you, which you are printing. Right? It is like this. Let's say, okay, let me show you the another way also, guys. Let me go back to the calculations. And this time multiplication, I don't return, but I'll print here itself. I say void. I will, instead of, okay, let me copy this one and replicate this one. I'll show you another way also, guys. Another way is, I'm not returning anything. See, this is the original method, which is integer. Here, I'm not returning, but I do sysout, system.out.println. What I'm trying to do here is, I am directly printing the value here. When I call for a multiplication, it is not returning anything for me, but it will print here. It will execute and it will print. I go here, I can still use the same object because the method is there from the same object. Calculations dot multiplication. I'm giving it as 20 into, let's say 8. 20 into 8 is 160. If you see here, I'm not doing anything, but I'm calling. When I execute this one, now I can see the output is 160. This is getting executed. This is 160. Let us go by debugging one by one, guys. So I'm clearing the screen. What I want to do is I want to start debugging from here. See, I just double click on this one. Instead of running this application, I want to debug this application. Right click, debug as Java application. Now you can see it is asking me whether I can change the perspective, which is a look. I say no, keep it as it is. Now you can observe here, if you see the console, nothing is printed. It come and stop in this line, line number 6. When I say next line, now you see this time it is printed here. Right? When I go to the next, now the object is printed. I mean, it is created. If you keep the cursor here, the object is created and it has all the gender value, gender, name, qualifications null. If I go to the next line, it is printed whatever is there in this object, which is printed as it is. Then we set up a value. In case if you want to see how it is getting set up, I can step into it is F5. I click on this one. Now we see it went to the set name method inside a student.java file. I say step over. Now it will keep going like this. Now here I'm in line number 14. When I execute this one, now line number 14 is printed here. Right? Then I go for a calculations. Now, if you keep a cursor in the calculations, you see we don't have a toString. It is simply showing me the object reference, which is at the rate 481A15FF. When I go to the next line, it has brought a value called sum is 217. and I am printing the sum value. Now you can see here, after this line in the console, it will print. Okay. Then I'm calling calculation multiplication. I want to get inside, then I can say step into. You see here, it went to the multiplication class variable, it is there. You can observe here the value which we pass input is 20, and the second one which you pass the value is 8. Now, when I say next, it is printed 160 here. Then when we move on, it come to here, let's say execution completes here. I have to remove the starts here, completes here. Okay. I say this execution completes here. Guys, now you understand the whole mechanism.
Yes.
Yeah. Any questions? Okay. Sometime back, we have learned about of heap memory, correct? Heap is used to store the objects. Right? What are the objects here? Can anyone try to help me? What are the objects here in this specific class?
Kelsey.
Kelsey is an object. Perfect. How can you say Kelsey is using new? Yeah. Go ahead. Next. Yeah. Pushpa.
And student class.
Not student. Shyam.
Sam.
Yeah. Correct.
Reference value.
Yeah. See, this is a class name. This is an object name. Guys, we have to say object names always. Okay. Otherwise, 3-4 places you can see a student, right? Let's say I go here and create one more student called Giri. Now here is 2 objects, right? It's not one object. So student is a reference, which is a class, but object is the object reference name. Like Kelsey is an object, Shyam is an object. Now what happens is Shyam will be generated, the information is stored in the heap memory. Okay. Again, Kelsey is created and it is kept its information in the heap memory. Now, this whole process is happening, right? Let's say step by step. We have seen, right? First, we have executed this line. After that, it is printing this. For this also, you require memory. Okay. This is called stack memory. What is it called?
Stack memory.
Stack memory. Okay. What is a stack? So stack is nothing but first it will try to execute this line. After that, it tried to execute this line. After that, it tried to execute this line. Now, in this case, if you see the calculate addition class, it will get into the calculate addition. After the addition completes, then it comes back here. Okay. So we will dig deeper into little later. Then I want to show you when we talk about of stack memory, how much stack memory is there, what is the problem and all, we will see. I'll try to create, okay, let me not dig into that one. I will take a separate class in the memory management itself. So that what happens is, I'll create each object, how much memory it is taking, how you can exploit the memory and all, we can see. But for time being, you can understand, heap memory is used to store the object. Stack memory is used to execute the program. You may ask, why we want 2 memories? Why not 1 memory? See, what happens is, let's say Shyam is there, right? Let's say I can refer Shyam to somebody else, for example. Let's say student Giri equal to Shyam. I'm just giving a hypothetical situation, guys. Now what happens is Giri and Shyam both are referring to the same object. For all those things, what we do is we will keep the memory of objects in a separate location. So it's called heap memory. Heap memory is used to store the objects. Stack is used to execute your program step by step. The temporary variables will be stored in the stack. The objects will be stored in the heap. So used to execute a program and stores temporary variables. Okay. Guys, I want to stop here and I want to summarize so that if you have any questions, you can ask me. I'll close all these things now. Clear. So we started with the types in Java. The types are, when you go here and right click and new, it'll show you can create a class, you can create a interface, enumeration, annotation, and record. These are the 5 types which you do. There is a package and source folder. Those are different. We already created a package also. Next, we want to see the types of classes in Java. We can create 3 types of classes. Those are, the first one is execution class, which have a main method. Without main method, you can't execute any of the Java program. Guys, this is also called standalone applications. What is it called? Standalone application. What is a standalone application is, currently to execute this program, are you depending on anything else? No, right?
No.
No, we are not depending on any server. We are not depending on any database. We are not depending on any external source. It's only I have a code, I can execute this. These are called standalone programs. Okay, standalone application or a standalone program. Now, then it comes to the next one called bean class. Bean class is, ideally you can keep the variables and you can have a setters and getters for it. Along with it, in case if you want to print or log, you can override the toString method. The toString method will give you not the object reference, but what you are printing here. Okay. Here I'll write one more thing. Yeah, for interview questions, what shows when you print the object reference? Okay. What shows
Memory.
or what prints? What prints when you yeah, what data prints when you print the object reference. Okay, it's a memory reference, right? Memory reference. Now coming back, for us to create this object, we have a we have the student class. We created an object. We tried to print it out. Initially, it was null. All the values are null default. Then we set the values using setters and getters. Then when you print it, all the information which is there as part of which is a toString is shown for us. That is a second thing. After that, we have a calculations class. We call it as a functionality class. In this functionality class, we have taken an example of calculations, which is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. All will take inputs and gives output. What did we do? For us to do the addition, where this method is available, which is available in calculations, I had to create a calculations object here. That's where I created a calc. With this one, I went and called this method with values. These are called parameters, parameter values. Then I got the output. Then I printed it. Once I have an object, I can call any number of methods from that specific object. With calc, I can call all the methods available over there, which is visible for me. Okay. We'll discuss visibility in further sessions. What is a visibility? Whatever it can see, whatever it is given permissions can be executed. Then after that, we have printed here itself, right? We are not returning anything. We have used void here. Okay. So in the next session, I will cover something called a variables, methods, and what are the types of all of those things. So today, briefly, we have covered about of the types of classes which we can create. And also, I shown a debugging mechanism. How you can go step by step, how it is getting into the methods with the help of debugging part, right? So let me cross check to add you anything. So it's a standalone program. We use a always control space and control plus S to save the file. Guys, these two should be in your fingertips always, shortcuts. Then interview, what are the data reference when you print the object reference? It is memory reference value. Whatever is referred in this one. And Java is an object-oriented programming. In execution class, you need not to create an object. You need not to create an object for the execution class. Okay. But JV will create one for you. Memory mechanisms, we have seen the heap memory. We have seen the stack memory. We understood what it is. Heap stores the object, stack stores, shows the, stores the steps. Then println is used only for the development purposes. Logging mechanisms, there are various logging mechanisms can be used in the different environments. Yeah, program is a set of instructions can be used by the understood by system. So that's it, guys. That's it for today. Today, I'm not giving any assignments. I want you to explore on this one and come back with the questions. Then once I'll clarify, after 2-3 sessions, I'll start giving you the assignments for you to, or exercises for you to perform on your own. Okay, guys?
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, that's it for the day. Thank you.